Greetings, Kevin Carney here with GameDemo.com talking about SimCity 5 or SimCity 2013 edition or whatever you want to call it. Those of you just coming into the game, congratulations on buying the game later rather than earlier, because if those of you that bought the game when it first came out all know all too well what a nightmare that was. But anyway, was that JetBlue? No. Just wanted to talk about how to make some cash. This is like a tutorial guide. Almost feels sort of like cheating in a way. I guess this is the way the developers plan the game. But I always look for little nuances to finesse the game to sort of achieve goals that are, that may or may not have been intended. But anyway, as you can tell, I got a pretty large city. Well, as large as you can make it in these little square blocks that they give us. Positive thoughts. Anyway, I use the high density roads, and I go square by square. I started out with the high density. I did not start out with the smaller, cheaper roads. I started out with the high density with the railroad cars, and I went from there. The problem is you can't let me talk about it. You can go from medium density, the high density. You can't go to the high density with the streetcars. You can't upgrade your roads to that level, so you have to just build them to begin with, unless you want to tear down everything that you created and then restart from there, which was not what I wanted to do. So I started out from the roads with the railroad cars. For the most part, about 90% of my city is that. So anyway, once you get the city basically built up, where you're moving along, you need that little oomph of cash to sort of like help you expedite things. And the first thing I stumbled across was the Expo Center. The Expo Center gives you 3 different items that you can select for, 3 different events. One's motocross, sporting, and then the rock concert is the most expensive. Rock concert costs you $45,000. Well, to build this stadium, I forget what it costs, but it's a fair amount of simoleons. And then the events, you have to pay for each event, and the rock concert is the most expensive, $45,000. However, it potentially can give you, I think, $185,000. Somewhere in there. So the rock concert it's going off right now. It starts at 8. Well, no, it's not. It's 8 a.m. But at 8 p.m. it will start, and then it goes till midnight. Somewhere between 8 and midnight, you get paid. I think it's like 9 or 10 o'clock. Definitely by midnight, you get your cash. But you have to make sure that your city and then the environment that you're in, the other cities, are big enough to support the event, so that you have enough people coming in to actually pay for the initial cost of the $45,000. I made a huge mistake, and I built a sports arena on the other side of the city, thinking, well, this is great. I'll just be raking in the cash. But I could never recover the event costs, so it was just a huge negative. So I had to destroy that. But the Expo Center's been working pretty nice for me. You don't need that much. That big of a community in order to start generating the cash. So the people are coming in now, and you see the numbers climbing, like there's 9, 23, and that'll eventually go up and up and up. But right now you see my expense going down. It's $42,000 and decreasing. So eventually you hit the break-even point, and from that on you start making cash. So then what I do is, once that event's over at midnight, as soon as, I keep looking at that clock, and at midnight, boom, I schedule the next event using the cash that was generated from the first event to pay for the second event. You get the idea. And then whatever cash is left over, I use to tweak the city and expand the city. So that's one way, just, to help propel yourself a little bit and give you a little extra spending money. The next thing that you need, one of the most biggest expense you're going to have is the trash. Your garbage is just going to be a real problem as your city gets bigger. Now, when I first started, I was building the landfills, and here's my garbage dump right here. And the landfills, I had like 10 of them, and it was just the garbage just kept coming in and coming in. It was a huge problem. Once you can afford it, as soon as you can afford it, get the incinerator going, the garbage incinerator. Yes, it's going to be more money or more pollution, but the alternatives, you're going to have like 50 landfills, you know. So get the incinerator going. And as you can tell now, I'm just down to one dump zone. And I've got 1, 2, 3 incinerators going, and my dump zone is at 0. So I could probably try to get away with two incinerators. But get as many garbage trucks as you can, get going as soon as your city's big enough. Get them out there to start collecting the trash. And here is where the my little catchphrase is: the cash is in the trash. Not the garbage, but in the recycling. So if you go over here in the bottom right when this menu is up, you'll notice the waste disposal. Right now I'm collecting 2,700 cans. Well, there's 2,800 cans of garbage out of a possible 4,000. So I'm only, you know, I could basically build another garbage dump, because I need the trucks to go get that's what I need, more trucks to go get the trash. But the cash part, where you're going to be making the money, is right here in the recycling bins. So right now I'm collecting 7,100 bins of recycles per day out of a possible 14,000. So I'm only halfway there. I'm only halfway on my recycling. So where is the cash coming from? Okay, so you got to build the recycling plant, and how you do that, it's in your trash, in your whatever, waste disposable tab down here. When you pop that, and the recycling center costs $111,000, so pretty expensive, but it's worth it. So once you start building it, you're going to start, let me show you. So I built it, and you have to select what you want to do. If you want plastics, alloy, metal, and in the first one that I built this one does alloy, this one does metal, and this one does plastic. So you can only have 3. So you could do all alloy, all plastic, and I mixed it up. The first one I'm like, well, I'll just do all plastic. Then you need the trucks to go out and collect it. So you need the collection trucks, but then here's the big deal. You need the delivery trucks to deliver the processed materials to where you actually make the money. And what you do, and this is where you make your money, over here at the trade depot. How do you get to it? How do you build a trade depot? You come over here, your bottom left, you click on city specialization, and you want to try to do this. You know, once do this pretty quick. Like the next city I build, I'm going to really focus on this. And you go the city specialization, you go straight over to trading, and then you go to trade depot, and you build yourself a trade depot. Here's the trade depot. Let me click here. When I built my trade depot, I have metal storage, alloy storage, and plastic storage. Just like the recycling, you set up what you want coming in. And now what you do is you back out of that, and I'll click that. I'm back on the Trade Depot menu. You notice this tab here, Manage Global Market Deliveries. You click that. So import export. Right now my metal, I have exporting, and I'm getting 29,000 simoleons per 10. I guess 10 ton, I guess. And then plastics, 12,000 per 1,000 simoleons. And then the alloy, here we go, alloy. We get 48,300 for every 10 ton, I guess, exported. So alloys worth, you know, a chunk of change there. So the next, I'm like, all right. So the next recycling plant I built focusing on the alloy primarily, and then plastic secondary. So that's where the cash is coming from. So I am burning through 9,000 simoleons, but in just in that period of time talking to you, I'm up to 551,000 simoleons. So it's definitely worth building. I'm just in the, I don't understand it completely. I haven't read a manual or anything or researched it. But once you start that, then you're able to build a trading HQ. I've already done that. I think that boosts your. I honestly don't. You get to go on globally, and it might help the cash flow. If you know better, post comments. I'm just getting started on this part of it. The next focus that I'm going to be doing is this trade port. I've been trying forever to get a Department of Transportation going so that I can get a some rails coming in to start delivering this stuff, and that's what I'm trying to focus on now. I'm trying to save up a huge surplus of cash so that I can destroy a couple of these buildings and then try to really focus on the trading. So, hopefully that was informative, and I appreciate you watching, and you can look for me on SimCity as consoledemo.com, all one word, or gamedemo.com. That's my kid's account, and they have, I forget the name, Morgantown is the current city, the current map that we're in. So, have fun, and talk to you later. Bye.